Deep in the house, down a farther hall, Joseph stopped at the old door, the one with the many symbols etched and inlaid with pure silver. He looked grimly at the many locks and bolts on the outside of the door, taking his free hand and running the tips of his calloused fingers down the splintered etchings, tracing the arcane symbols. In the other hand, he held a large, flat silver charger. Symbols likened to the door were engraved into the precious metal. On it lay long, bloody cutlets of meat, raw and, by the look of it, freshly butchered. Joseph was used to the innocent face of an animal now. Its searching, dark eyes looking up at him, scared and without understanding as the knife went into the throat. And all for this. He let his hands drift down the etchings and latches and locks southways to the ancient knob. Then, like something in the form of being sudden, but no, not sudden, soft and wind-whispered, smooth as oil in tone, an intoxicating fluid of fragrance, spices properly mixed like holy incense, was the hushed murmur through the door, easily mistaken for a traveling draft, but not for Joseph. He recognized the voice, and though he knew better, it was all too sweet to resist. He moved forward, laying the breadth of his forehead against the door, the scored runes immediately penetrating his skin as he slowly rocked his head from side to side, responding. "I am," he said, and knelt the bones of his knees, producing a dry crack as his hands slid down. The deep scores and silver etching quickly caught on his flesh and created small cuts, marking the door once again. The many other dried brown markings were a testament to Joseph's many visits, each one marked with remembrance. On the other side of the door, from the all-consuming blackness of the swallowing abyss, the grinding sound of wood and metal rang out as a slot at the bottom slid open. The focused beam caught the giant black eyes and whirl of copper hair as claws dug into the hard wood. The movement was quick and deadly. Light was not welcome here. Joseph laid the plate on the floor and pushed it into the swallowing dark of the slot. The whispers, once quiet, rose, but the words were not in a tongue we know, a language long forgotten, perhaps burned and buried alive, but to Joseph it seemed like honey, like something promised long ago, and his head drifted, as if rocked, swirling and intoxicated in the perfume, the tendrils of sound penetrating deep into his ears with long, pleasurable thrusts. He pressed his forehead hard into the door as the blood mingled with the silver, the voice licking the dark, speaking in sibilant lows. Shashef, Saurusa Fasara. Through the slot, a pale woman's hand slid forward. The fingers were white as bone meal, stained up to the knuckle joint in a deep shade of red, as if dipped in blood. Joseph was beginning to fade, slipping to some faraway dream, his waking vision tunneling out in a warm spin, the drifting away of a well-spun insect filled with the venom of an artisan spider, willing to simply not be, to let go, and to be done.